time for the Business with Adam.
Thanks, Rachel. Failte Ireland is to invest €15.5 million in up to 62 towns across the country in order to make them more attractive to tourists. The scheme will run through local authorities and will see up to €500,000 granted to towns to help develop them into destinations. Paul Kelly is CEO of Failte Ireland. He joins me in studio now. There are a few terms and conditions that apply here. Talk us through those quite quickly there.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. Thank you very much. Today we're launching this new scheme which enables us to spread is the latest initiative from Failte Ireland to spread the employment and economic benefit throughout every county in Ireland. We're able to launch it thanks to the extra funding, capital funding that has been allocated for tourism in the last budget by Minister Ross and Minister Griffin and the government. So that enables us to put this $15.5 million available. How the scheme will work will be that local authorities will select one or two key towns in each of the counties around the country that they believe have the potential to develop as tourism destination towns, and then we will work with those local authorities in terms of putting together a plan and a programme for how this money can be invested to make those towns more attractive to tourists. So it is really around there's a number of criteria around making sure that there's enough accommodation stock in the town, that there's visitor attractions, that there's enough for people to see and do in the surrounding area, because it is important that we develop a coherent approach to these towns so that they can be developed to provide really good holistic visitor experience.
No doubt towns would welcome any kind of investment. In the grand scheme of things, of €250,000 to €500,000, it's not game changing by any stretch. What will actually be done with the money? What will it achieve?
Yeah, I mean, if you're right, these are not huge amounts of money on a town, but for each town. But what we're looking for is the small things that will make a big difference. So things like, for example, signage that will make it easier for visitors to find their way around towns, interpretation panels that will bring the history and culture of towns to life for visitors. It could be creating spaces for food and craft markets, or for entertainment spaces within towns. So it'll be different on a town by town basis. Lighting buildings is another thing that brings towns to life at night, etc. So it's those little things that can really make a town more attractive to visitors.
Beyond the investment, what's being offered to towns? I mean, is there a risk that this money's going to be put in there and then no one will know about it because the marketing isn't there to back it up and to highlight what's going on in these areas?
No, this is very, very much part of. This is just one strand in a whole complex tapestry of things that we're doing with local authorities and with other strategic partners to grow tourism in a joined up way. So as I say, we're working on all of the elements of that, and that includes the marketing, it includes the development of visitor attractions. We've got a whole number of what we call visitor experience development plan groups which are industry clusters that are working together with local authorities and ourselves to develop a holistic visitor experience for that area, so that each area can have a really good visitor experience for 48 hours or 3 days in terms of what will make sense for visitors in those areas.
On a broader basis, figures from the CSO yesterday telling us 1.2 million people came to Ireland between January and February. Early days in the year, and we're also just ahead of what would have been the post-Brexit period of the year. Can we expect that kind of gain to continue, or is there a sign that things are going to slow down as you move into April?
No, it is a solid start to the year, but it is, as you say, very early days. There's only about 11% of visitors arrive into Ireland across January or February, so it is obviously a quiet time of year. But it's good to be starting on a positive as opposed to a negative. We'll take that for sure. But looking to the year ahead and looking with Brexit, the uncertainty, we are certainly picking up from the market that there is more uncertainty out there. People are holding off on making bookings. So there is a little bit more softness in that area looking forward into the year. So in terms of, I think we'll still see growth this year, but maybe not at the same rates as we saw it last year.
Paul Kelly, CEO of Failte Ireland. Thank you for that. More business news in the next hour.